So this mortgage calculator is receiving 1.4 million visits every single month, and apparently the company behind it is generating $1 million every month from that page alone. Now, how about this? A percentage calculator website, and according to the estimate, it is receiving 1.6 million organic traffic, presumably from Google and other search engines, and the people behind this website is making $45,000 every single month, which I think is quite insane, given that this tool is not that complicated and could easily be replicated within minutes using AI. So basically, today I'm going to show you how you can create an online tool or maybe online calculator using AI, and then later I'm going to show you how you can implement that tool to a WordPress website. And there are a few best practices that you need to follow, because it's not as simple as just asking AI to create a code and then copy and paste the code to a WordPress website. There are some rules that you need to follow. And before I show you how you can create one, you have to think, what is the tool that you want to create for your website, because it is very, very important. But fortunately, we are living in the era of AI, so you can use AI to brainstorm some ideas about tools that you could create for your website. So for example, if you're running a fitness or maybe health industry, you can create a calculator like body fat percentage calculator, or maybe calorie intake calculator, or some other tools in that nature. And I think, again, you can use AI to brainstorm some ideas. And basically, when you're done with the research, you can actually start creating the tool using AI code editors. Now, the second thing that you need to do is to choose what is the AI editor that you want to use to create this tool. And fortunately, again, we have so many options. So there are options like you can use Bolt, you can use Reusable AI. There is also Firebase Studio, which is one tool that I have explained on my previous video. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using an AI code editor called Windsurf. It is running on a computer. You can download this software, and by the way, you can use the link in the video description, and then you can get access to a few credits a day, which I think is more than enough to create a simple online tool for a WordPress website. Now, for a demonstration, I'm going to be creating or recreating this BMI calculator, which calculates the body height and body weight, and then gives a number whether or not the person is healthy, underweight, or overweight. And it's quite simple, and I think this is going to be perfect for a demonstration. All right, now I'm going to open a software, which is Windsurf Code Editor. Okay, so this is what Windsurf Code Editor look like, and it's actually not that difficult to use. At least it's not that complicated if you know how to use it. And in order to create a workspace, you can click File, click Open Folder, and then you can select a folder where you want to store all the codes later. And then here you can open the Cascade window. And this is where you can write the prompt or the instruction about the tool that you want to build using AI. And by the way, I'm going to show you all the prompts that you will need to use to create the tools, and I'm going to show you step by step. So there are 3 sections of the prompt. I'm going to copy this first section. Okay, let me zoom in for you. The prompt goes something like this: generate an online tool for my WordPress website, and then the name of the tool is the Ultimate BMI Calculator. And then here is probably the most important section of the prompt. You have to describe what is this tool doing, what is the formula that is being used if you are trying to create, let's say, a calculator, and what is the interaction with the user, what are the values that the user need to enter. So all those things you need to think about, and you have to make sure that they are actually going to be accurate and useful. And again, you can use AI to brainstorm some ideas about what value that users need to insert before they can get the answer. So here you have to be as detailed as possible. All right, that was the section, or the first section of the prompt. Let me show you the next section. This is going to be the style of the tool, and basically here I'm just telling AI about the accent color, the secondary color, the text color, and then I want to incorporate border radius, loading animation, and you can also add other things if you want to. And by the way, if you are trying to get some good colors, you can actually go to a site like, let's say, coolors.co. Let me show you what the website look like. It's something like this, coolors, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's called coolors.co, and it shows many amazing color palette that you could, just copy and paste into the prompt. Okay, now this is the style, and let's talk about the last section of the prompt, which is the technicalities about the tool. Oh, by the way, I'm going to provide the prompting in the video description so you can copy and paste the prompt into your code editor. Okay, so the last section is basically talking about the technicalities about the tool. I basically want to create this tool using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in one file, and then I want to scope the style so it doesn't interfere with the existing style of the WordPress website. And yeah, there are other things that I don't want to explain here because it's going to make the video too long, but basically I do recommend to not change anything in this section unless if you know what you're doing. Okay, now when you're done with the prompting, you can select the AI model that you want to use. So here in Windsurf code editor, there are multiple options. There are options like Cloud, GPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, Grox, and many others. And in this case, I'm going to be using Cloud 3.7 Sonnet because I think it's still the best, although some people says that Gemini 2.5 Pro, at least for now, is very good at coding as well. But maybe if you're watching this video in the far future, there could be more powerful models. You can use that, of course. But for now, and for me, I think I'm going to be using Cloud 3.7 Sonnet. Okay, now I'm going to just send the prompt and just wait for AI to generate this ultimate BMI calculator in just a few minutes, and I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, now the tool has been created. You can see that all the necessary components have been added by this code editor, and I just need to copy and paste the code into my WordPress website. But first, let me click accept all, and I do recommend to just preview and test the tool before you are actually putting it into your WordPress website. Now, there are multiple ways you can open this tool. Basically, you can try it on your computer. So the first and the easiest way to test this tool is by opening this file, this HTML file, on your browser. So the way you do it is quite simple. Just right-click anywhere here and then click Refill in the File Explorer. And I'm going to just minimize this page, and I can just click, sorry, I can show you this. Let me just click this, drag and drop that into the browser, and it will open the tool. So this is the tool, and yeah, it's quite simple. That was the first option. By the way, there is another way to preview the tool, which I think is a lot better, especially if you're planning to do more modifications on the tool. Okay, let me go back to Windsurf again. And here I do recommend to use an extension in Windsurf called Live Server. So you can search Live Server, and then you can install an extension, and then after that you can basically just go back to the Explorer and right click on the file and click open with Live Server or File Server, and it will open the page. But this page is going to be reactive, so if you made some changes in the code, that changes will be applied to this page immediately. But if you're using the traditional method, you have to manually refresh the page to see the new changes. So I think it's much more convenient. Now I'm going to do some testing here. Let's say I want to put a number like 170, and then the weight is, let's say, 56, the age is 27 or 28 maybe, and the gender is male. Let's click calculate BMI, and there you go. It is normal apparently, which is surprising. I thought it's going to be underweight, but no, it is normal. And then there is also the imperial section. I think the height is 5'7", I guess. Weight is 170 pounds. The age is 28, the gender is male. Calculate, it should be the same or it's different. So honestly, I'm not so sure about the imperial section here because I'm not American. So let me know if this calculation is correct. But let's assume that this is correct. So I'm going to go back to Windsurf code editor. and I'm going to just copy this code and put it into my WordPress website. So you can press Ctrl A on the keyboard to select all the codes and right click and click copy. Let's minimize and go to your WordPress website. You can add a new post or add a new page. It's really up to you. And in this case, I'm going to just create a new page and I'm going to call this page BMI calculator. It's quite simple. And then here you have to insert a code block called custom HTML. So let's type / and then type custom HTML. That's the block that you want to use for this case. And you can right click and then paste the code into that section. Now you can click preview to see if it is actually working, and you can do some testing here as well. And I'm going to just publish this. And let me just open this on a new tab. And this is the result. So again, as a good measure, I'm going to do some testing again. Let's say the height is 100, let's say 59, weight is 60, and then age is 21, and gender is female. And let's calculate. Yep, it is working, and there is this nice emoji, which is the kind of feature that I want this tool to have. So yeah, this tool is working. And by the way, I do recommend to add some text content. Like usually people that are creating this tool, they are going to put some content that lets search engines index their page. So I do recommend to add some relevant content based on the tool that you just created. Now we're not done yet. There is another thing that I want to show you. Okay, I'm going to create another page. So I do recommend to incorporate something called reusable blocks, or basically patterns. I think it's called patterns now in WordPress, where you can reuse the same element over and over again on multiple pages. So let's say I want to have this tool on, let's say, 10 different pages, and at some point I want to change something on the tool. I want to change maybe the color or maybe change the formula. But if you do it in the traditional way, where you have to copy and paste the code to every single page in that 10 pages, that is going to be quite exhausting. But there is a reusable blocks feature or patterns feature in WordPress that lets you to just create one element and reuse that element over and over again. And if one day you want to make a change, you can just edit one element and the changes will be reflected on all those pages. So first you have to click on the tool, click on the HTML, custom HTML feature that you just created. And then you have to click create pattern. Let's call this one ultimate BMI calculator. All right. By the way, I was using a dictation tool that is being powered by AI. You can actually check it, the link in the video description if you want to use this tool as well. Now let's make sure that it is synced. And after that, let's click add. And now it is becoming a reusable element. So I can create a new section or a new page, and let's call this one BMI calculator 2. And then here, instead of copy and paste the code manually, I can just type / and then type ultimate BMI calculator right here, and it will give me the exact same content as before. And again, if I made one change here, it will be reflected on this page as well. So let me just publish this page. And let me open this. So let's say I want to make a change here. So I'm going to, just edit the original. You can actually do the editing anywhere, but basically you have to click edit original to make the change to be reflected on all pages. So here, let's say I want to change something like maybe, let's say I'm not going to call this one, let's say this button, calculate BMI. I'm going to call it a different, I'm going to rename it into a different text. So instead of calculate BMI, I'm going to call this button calculate BMI now. Let's use that. And I'm going to click save again. And here there are two versions. There is this BMI calculator, which is the original, and then BMI calculator 2. I'm going to refresh the page, and now it says calculate BMI now. And the second page will do the same. If I refresh the page, it does the same thing. Even though I'm not touching anything on this section, I'm just editing the code from the original element, but the changes are being reflected on all pages. So that's the benefit of using reusable blocks or patterns in WordPress. So I guess that's basically it. That's how you can create an online tool for a WordPress website. And by the way, I'm planning to create a video on how you can create an AI tool, like you can implement generative AI like from OpenAI API or Mistral or Gemini into WordPress, and there is a simple way to do so. So if you're interested, be sure to subscribe to this channel. But in any case, I hope this video inspires you, or at least helping you to generate a tool for your WordPress website. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.